Well, hello everyone, and welcome to History 131. This is Exploration to 1877. Wanted to create this quick little introductory video to let you know what we're going to be doing throughout the class, kind of a little bit of a supplement to the syllabus, and kind of give you an overview of how things are going to operate. So let's take a look pretty quick at what this class is about. First thing is the course description. This is the same one that you'll find in your syllabus, and it's an online undergraduate course. And it covers the history of the United States from basically exploration until Reconstruction in 1877. And that's a lot of years, 1607-ish, all the way up until 1877. That's 270 years. That's a lot to cover in a course. And with that being said, it is reading intensive, and you're going to have to be disciplined, and you're going to manage your time wisely. We're going to examine the political and the economic, social, religious, cultural issues that transform America from a group of what I call seaboard colonies to a burgeoning industrial powerhouse right about the time that this course ends. And we're going to have assigned readings, book reviews, quizzes, tests, document analysis, discussion boards. What we're going to happen is we're going to discuss those issues, and special attention, there's some things that we really have to dig into deeply. Exploration, colonial America, the American Revolution, which is one of my favorite pieces, the Federalist era, industrialization, reforms, nationalism, sectionalism, expansion, the long decade of crisis, and Civil War and Reconstruction. So there's a lot packed in to this course. So what this is I'm going to call this about this. Basically, this course is the creation of modern America, and I should have put modern up there because I'm going to treat it as an introduction to the history that ultimately ends in the creation of the nation that we know today. And we're going to explore those trends, those ideas, religions, political movements, all of the stuff that creates this unique and foundational civilization and culture that we now live in. And we're also going to set the stage for the second half of U.S. history, that's 132, that saw these ideas and structures of the nation continue to grow and expand and end with America, by the turn of the 21st century as the last remaining superpower in the world. So what textbook are we going to use? Well, you know what? It's the American Yawp. You see a picture of it here, but it's online. There's a link here. There's a link in your syllabus. And as far as textbooks go, this was not bad. I've seen some horrible, god-awful textbooks before that are you can't read it for going to sleep. This was not too bad. It's informative and it's readable, and that's not always the case when you start getting into some of the deeper history fields. I swear the historians write for each other, which means about 5 people read it and one of them's their mama. But this one is very well done, so you're getting a pretty good overview here. So what are our objectives? What are we trying to do here? Well, I expect you to read the assigned materials in preparation for class. There's going to be a lot of stuff. I'll go into that in a few minutes. I want you to develop the ability to think and read like historians. Now, I don't expect you to be one, but I expect you to start to hone those skills just a little bit, because it's going to be important as you go through the rest of your undergraduate career and as you go through life, because history doesn't stop when you leave the classroom. You're bombarded by it every single day in so many different ways, and you'll start to realize that. Third, we're going to participate in collegial, whichever way you pronounce it, discussions about course material. We're going to express fundamental concepts in writing, and we're going to construct at least one critical academic book review. People kind of freak out over that a little bit. Like, well, what's a book review? We will get to all of that. So, what do I want the class to look like? I mean, even though it's online and we're not going to be face to face, I want you to get involved in the class. It doesn't mean just because we're online that everybody can't be involved. That's what makes class fun. Matter of fact, my master's degree in history at the University of Nebraska at Kearney was done online, and it was really and truly like I was with these people. We didn't have this video technology at that point, but through discussion boards and other things, it was almost like we were there together, which was really neat. So, they're going to be traditional lectures, or what I've called as traditional as I can make them. Videos, I will video a lot of the lectures. There's going to be some other pieces of other historians that I'm friends with. I'm going to put some of them on here too. But I want you to participate and ask questions, make comments, help tie things together. All of that is what the discussion board is about. you're going to get out of it what you put into it. And so the more you interact, the smoother and the faster this class is going to go, and the more you're going to get out of it. So what will a week look like? Well, there's going to be a lot of things to do. We got to replace some of that normal in-person stuff, those components. There's going to be reading from the text and other sources. That's going to be every week. There are going to be video and audio lectures from me, some like this, some without you getting to see my wonderful face down in the bottom. But it's going to be like that. There will be discussion boards. There'll be interaction. But you're going to have those things each week. One discussion board, maybe two, maybe a quiz here. A document analysis assignment there. That's what a regular week is going to look like. Try not to overwhelm, but to give you your bang for your buck. And in some ways, you see those 3 bullets. It doesn't sound like a lot, but there's going to be a lot of depth there, a lot of breadth and a lot of depth. And we're going to, this content, we're going to use these skills. And every week's not going to have the exact same items, but it's a good look at what we're going to do. So in terms of your reading, you got to cover a lot of stuff in a short period of time, and that means you got to read, or you have to read, or however you want to put it. And like I said, I'm going to post the lectures, I'm going to post videos, but again, the reading is at the heart of this course, and that text is a good read. Again, like I've told you, it's going to be excellent, and I expect you to be able to digest what you're reading, because this is undergraduate, and if you can't, you need to get in touch with me, because we need to have a discussion. But I believe we have to be upfront with that right there. And if you're like, oh man, I've never had to really read a textbook. Well, if you will see that document, How to Read a History Textbook on Blackboard, it will help you a little bit. So the next question is, am I always right? Well, of course. Yeah, no, I'm not. And we can have a difference of interpretation about what we're studying. That we truly can, and that makes things so much better, so much richer. And like I've said here too, educated people can disagree and somehow both be correct. That is a fantastic thing here. And remember, if you can defend it with evidence, then it's more acceptable to, more than acceptable rather, to express on a test and a review in class and discussion board, however you want to do it. You got to be able to defend it. We can disagree. It is okay. So just a little bit of information about myself. Not that you really care, but I'm going to throw it out there anyway, because you need to know who's going to be teaching you for the next few months. My name's Robert Brown. Again, I don't even know that I threw that out in the opening. That's my cell phone number. That is my personal cell. And if you need me during the day, you can call or you can text. Okay. I am a school principal, is my full-time job. So you can text it. Email will be up on Blackboard. And if you need to email me, you go right ahead. That may even be faster, but you can always call or text. Just don't do it late at night, because I go to bed early because I have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. So what else? Like I said, principal Northview Middle School in Hickory. Taught social studies and history for over 20 years at the secondary level, and for 10 years at the community college and university level. I enjoy it. I like what I do. I enjoy the material, and I enjoy students. For several years, traveled around the country for the American Institute for History Education, training history teachers. I mean, that was a great job. That travel, though, goodness gracious, I got twin boys, and it was a nightmare. But like I said, I got a BA in history from UNC Charlotte, MA in history from University of Nebraska at Kearney. I study it, I read it. That's what I do at night, and I even write some of it too. And I'm going to show you some of that. Book on the left, Kings Mountain Cowpens book, is one of the first things I ever wrote. Been in print since 2009. I think it's in its 5th or maybe even 6th printing now. Just gave a lecture down at the Cowpens a little while back for the anniversary with my buddy Fran Macco. We wrote this book, Classroom Historians, about how to get students to use the tools of historians in the classroom. That I've written insert chapters on colonial North Carolina and North Carolina and Civil War and Reconstruction for the American Journey, activities for teaching civics for Civics Today. The only reason I put all this stuff out there is sometimes you get in a class and you get an instructor and you're like, where'd they get this person? I enjoy what I do, and I try to do it on a professional level, and hopefully some of that will rub off in this class. Now, let's talk about some of the assignments and the readings and things like that. And with that, we'll look at grades. How in the world do you get an A in this class? You can see this is straight off that syllabus. test this percent, discussion board such and such percent, quizzes 20, book reviews 10, document analysis 10. The whole idea here is this setup is designed to be generous to you. And there's a lot of emphasis on that discussion board because we need that interaction. But a lot of it puts a big percentage of it in your hand. You do what you're supposed to. Let's say you don't test well. Okay. You can still make a good grade in this class. Let's say you don't, I don't write very well. You can still get a good grade in this class. And you look at the grading scale, 90 to 100 is A, 80 to 89 is a B. It's the typical collegiate grading scale, but I'm leaving a lot of it in your hand, and I really want that to happen. Because if all of you made an A in here, it would make me as happy as could be. And I do mean that. So let's talk about tests for a minute. You got a midterm, you got a final. And the midterm is going to be based on the content covered up to that point, and the final is going to be based on the content from the midterm to the end. I mean, I say primarily, there may be a little bit here and there, but so this is not designed to overwhelm you, but it is designed to make sure that you do your reading and you do what I'm asking of you. And the quizzes, there's going to be 4 of them. Like the name implies, it's a quiz. It's on that current material in the class since the last one or since the last test or whatnot. If you have done your discussion board assignments, you've done your reading, you're going to be fine. Okay, they're going to be various formats: multiple choice, short answer, true, false. All kinds of different things. They're not designed to catch you. They're not designed to make you sweat. They're not designed to give you a headache. They are designed to show me that you have done what you're supposed to and you know the material you're supposed to know. So now the discussion board, that's the bear. And like I said, that's roughly 1/3 of your grade. And there are 21 of those boards in this class. And it's designed to get that interaction going. And I expect you to be active participants. And sometimes people say discussion board, I'm just going to put a little bit here, a little bit there. I need you to read that document, the online discussion board. It tells you what you're supposed to do. A few sentences here and there is not going to cut it. Okay. So, and it says you're going to have a multi-part or a choice of 2 discussion board topics. Some weeks you will. Others, I'm going to give you one. Okay? I'm going to give you one because it's that important to me the way it's laid out. And again, these are due twice a week, most weeks. Some weeks will only have 1. Most weeks have 2. And the syllabus and on the course assignments page, you will see when they're due. Okay? If you don't get them turned in by the deadline, you don't get credit. All right. So if there's something going on, you got to get in touch with me. Make sure this stuff gets done. I'm trying to be as generous as I can on these deadlines. All right, the book review time. This is the one that gets people all in a tizzy because we're going to do one academic book review. This is not a book report. This is a review. And if you see those guidelines, and I'm going to give you on Blackboard, I am going to give you several that I did in grad school. So you can see a relatively, well, y'all will consider it long, but in grad school it was relatively short, up to something that one of my advisors was like, "What are you doing?" So I'm going to show you how it is because we're not just telling. This is what the book said. We want to know how well they said, how well did they do their arguments, how good was their scholarship, and I'm only asking you to do one. I'm not asking you to do one a week that we did in grad school. Again, when it talks about annotations and footnotes, things like that. History uses the Chicago style, but Chicago style is a bear. It kept me awake at night, and it should keep you awake at night too. So I'm not going to require that you use it because most of you are going to go into fields that don't have a whole lot to do with history. And there's APA, there's MLA, there's a bunch of different things. So any academic format is going to be accepted as long as it's correctly executed. That is, I'm not here to be a stickler about that. Okay. The document analysis piece. We're going to work with a number of specific documents throughout the course. And I'm going to ask you to perform what I've called here certain academic exercises with them. It's not designed to be difficult. It's not designed to create headaches or cause you to throw things at your screen. It is designed for you to get a sense of what historians do as part of their craft. And if you do your work and you do what I'm asking you to do, you're going to be fine with this. It's not going to be a big secret what to do. Okay, so we're going to do some of that. And lastly, let's go get started, okay? Because by the time you're seeing this, everything is up and should be going on Blackboard. You have access to the syllabus. You should have access to the syllabus quiz, which just lets me know that you've actually seen the darn thing. And your first discussion board question should be up, and your reading assignments posted. So without any further ado, I would like for y'all to go get started, and we will see you in the comments and in the grading section.